That's great.
Yeah, I really like that.
Day 2 of the NCAA tournament is in the books, Tate. We have the round of 32. It is set, and
Awesome.
I figured I would get everybody in the mood by reading each of the 32 teams that remain in this tournament. We start with Gonzaga. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
but
we're not gonna do that.
yesterday,
That would be the John Rothstein thing to do, I think. But also not say their names.
And with
names.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, here are your 32 teams remaining. Number 1, Gonzaga. No, so yesterday I would say classified. I don't know if you're ready to throw out the C word. Was it chaos?
It was chaos.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I was
Thursday, Saturday, chaos, fun, March Madness.
I was gonna say certainly madness. I don't know if it got into chaos territory. You say chaos.
It was a little chaotic.
When a two seed blue blood goes down,
It's chaos.
That feels chaotic.
Yeah.
Today I would say not chaos. I would say not necessarily madness, but there were moments, Tate. There were moments.
Yes.
There was Tyrese Hunter for Iowa State, hits a huge shot, has an awesome game against LSU, hits the big shot down the stretch. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Michigan State, Joey Hauser. A little madness for you? How about that?
Could have been more mad if Sam Menenga could have done it.
How about a Bo Borowski moment?
Yeah, the Miami game, if you didn't see, Bo Borowski basically decided the outcome of the Miami USC game. We'll talk about that. Illinois Chattanooga.
Yes.
T.O. tried to be the new Sister Jean.
Illinois.
That was interesting.
Should we start with that? Because I think the reason I wanted to talk about the moments is trying to figure out like what's
the moment of today?
What is the moment of today? Yeah, like obviously yesterday when we were doing the show at the end of the day, we were like, we're talking about Kentucky. I mean, that is obviously the thing we have to talk about.
Should we talk about it again?
Yeah, I should. I'll talk about it forever. I mean, we could talk about this every night. The game, I would say, the day, the thing to talk about, the thing we should probably lead the show is Illinois beating Chattanooga. Illinois led, I believe, for 25 seconds in this game.
Yes, and the largest lead they had was by 1 point.
By 1 point, Illinois.
They won this game by 1 point.
Illinois is a team, and I don't know how else to say this, so pardon my French. They are a team that enjoys stepping on their dicks, as I told you as we were watching Illinois play. Like it is baffling how this team.
And you may
games.
not get that, but if you watch them play, then you might.
If you're hung like I am, you get it very clearly. This is a team that like can simply not get out of their own way. They are very talented. Both of us have believed in Illinois to varying degrees throughout the season. I have jumped off the Illinois March Madness train months ago, I want to say. You have not. Yes. You never will. They'll lose. They'll lose in the next round. Who do they play? I forget.
Houston.
They play. Yeah, that's right. They got Houston.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose to Houston by 15, and Tate's gonna be like, I still think this team can do something.
Well, yeah.
So watching today, to me, like that was my big takeaway. Was like Chattanooga choked the game away. Let's get that perfectly clear. Chattanooga had them. They had them right where they wanted them.
Literally.
Illinois, though, my God, this team, like I cannot imagine being an Illinois fan. It made sense to me now why Illinois fans do complain so much and why there's just like bad vibes around the program at all times, because this was a perfect example of a team that after last year's NCAA tournament. This is you lose to Loyola in the second round. You had a 1 seed.
Yep.
This is a perfect opportunity to send a message to the world, to the haters, whatever. That was then. This is now. This is who we are. And oh my God, you do the exact opposite. They look like they're trying to lose for most of this game.
They are the first team in NCAA tournament history that I know of that lost a game yet moved on. You know what I mean? Like they had no business winning this game.
Yeah, Illinois did not win this game.
They did not win this game.
Lost.
They scored more points than Chattanooga.
Illinois lost a little less than Chattanooga did, is kind of what happened.
I think we all lost by watching this game. And the biggest thing that really stands out when you look at this Illinois team is when Kofi Cockburn, as we've said multiple times throughout, the past couple of years, when he has to go up against another big that he cannot bully, a.k.a. Cameron Krutwig last year, a.k.a. Silvio De Sousa today with Chattanooga, he has problems. And he almost gets taken out of the game for whatever reason. And Curbelo, I've never seen someone make so many irrational confidence plays that led to so many turnovers and mistakes. And for whatever reason, it didn't bite them in the end. But what really scares me about this Illinois team is I'm not sure that they learned the lesson from this game.
They learned no lessons.
I'm not sure that they did. Yeah.
To your point about Kofi, because I know people are going to be chiming in and say he had 17 and 13. What do you mean he was taken out of this game? There is it's so obvious that when Kofi is just swallowing all the attention for Illinois.
Yes.
This team just completely breaks down. It's maddening that I don't know. I feel like a broken record because we talked about it throughout the season. Like there are games where Kofi goes out, he gets in foul trouble. It's usually just foul trouble. It's because Brad Underwood never is like,
Yeah.
we're better without this dude. Let's get
No,
him on
he's
the bench.
never. Yeah.
He's their All-American. He's a first-team All-American. It doesn't make sense. Why would you, in the biggest moment of the season, take your first-team All-American and put him on the bench? I'll tell you why. Because Illinois' guards are garbage right now. They look like they have no idea what they're doing. They're throwing it all over the floor. And Andre Curbelo, that is the appeal of him. He is a guy that is feast or famine every single time he has the ball in his hands. What's disappointing is like Trent Frazier's been doing it a lot lately. Trent Frazier is like there was one play where he's like driving to the basket and he hit the he just whips it out to like the right wing. There's nobody home and it just drills the panel on the sideline.
But that kind of that shows you the microcosm of this team because 3 possessions earlier he did the exact same thing. He found Plummer for a 3 and that was the first 3 of the game and it kind of got things going. So that you say feast or famine, it is basically with these guards either an amazing play that you're like how did he make that pass or it's how do you make that pass?
You could do a game show with Illinois guards that they get ready to pass the ball and you just pause it.
Yes.
And then you're like, all right, where's this going to go?
You have 4, it's like in the front row, on the bench.
Right in the shooting bucket.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, who knows?
And you never know.
Oh, my God.
And Curbelo was driving me crazy in this game. It felt like it was helpless, and it felt like Illinois kind of reverted back to what we saw last year in the tournament, which is Curbelo and Kofi Coburn are going to run pick and roll and somehow find this rhythm that is supposedly exists between these two. And I don't see it. And if I'm Illinois, let's run everything through Frazier and Plummer and Hawkins. And then if Curbelo magically does start making some amazing plays, great. But let's not let it be the foundation of our offense, which it felt like it was today at times.
Who cares? We spent too much time talking about it. Illinois is a lost cause. This is who they are. This is
I hope that they get things together.
Dude, Houston and I proudly I'm less and less proudly as you watch Houston and continue to win games in the NCAA tournament. I would say I'm probably one of the more prominent Houston haters. Not even a hater. I would say I'm a disrespecter. There's a difference.
Kelvin Sampson has you on the board in his office.
Yeah, for sure. Material. Yeah, I mean
he has the fraud power rankings from 122-22.
Houston looked awesome tonight against UAB. They
as expected on
Houston's defense is their calling card. That's what's going to win them games. That's what's going to make them advance in this NCAA tournament. But tonight, what stole the show was the offense. They were hitting everything, especially in the first half.
Yep.
But then they shut down Jelly Walker and Houston.
What did he end up? 0 for 9 from 3, Jelly Walker?
I think so at one point. I don't know if that's what he was 0 for 9 at one point. Yeah.
UAB was never able. I mean, they kept fighting this game. So shout out to Andy Kennedy's squad. I mean, it was good to see him. Obviously, the former Ole Miss coach doing well at UAB. But like you said, Houston's defense moves them forward, moves them on, and
that's another double-digit seed that Houston knocks off in the NCAA tournament. So congratulations to Houston. Hang the banner.
And you got to be happy that you're facing Illinois after what you saw today.
Absolutely.
I mean, truly. Because, again, I've never seen a team lose a game and move on.
If you're asking yourself, is Titus just shitting on Illinois so when Houston beats Illinois, he can no, honestly, like with Houston, my gripes with Houston is that they don't play anybody. That's really it.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't play anybody in the NCAA tournament. They didn't play anybody last year.
The Lake.
A few years ago, when Houston, like, this run Houston's on is not just the last 2 years, Tate. Like, Kelvin Sampson's been doing stuff with Houston for a while. We remember Swaggy Poole of Michigan hits a shot to beat Houston. I didn't think that Houston
2018.
Was a fraud.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were a fraud. So it's not like a program thing. It's like this iteration that we're in. This 2-year stretch. And the facts are the facts. Houston did not beat an NCAA tournament team. They beat Memphis in the American title game. So,
their first quad one win. I'll say it again.
But the bracket has broken favorably by playing Illinois. Weirdly, if I'm Houston, I would rather play Illinois. I don't know. I don't think it matters. I think Houston's going to beat either one of those teams. But that's where we're at with that.
But we should update their resume. 2 quad 1 wins now.
2 quad 1 wins now.
So congratulations.
Houston has officially played their way off of the bubble. I have them in North Carolina last 4 buys. We'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. We'll see what happens there. What else? We talked about
Miami.
Miami. Yeah, Miami. That call is as you've had some time to let it simmer. Charlie Moore drives to the basket.
Tie ball game.
Gets a foul call. We were watching it together live, and we both freak out. And you were like, "That was probably Bo Borowski that made that call." And I'll be goddamn, it was Bo Borowski that made the call. It was a little bit of a controversial call. It seems like some people do believe that it was a great call.
Yes, the
Some
Miami
people have-
fans do believe that.
The Miami
yes.
bettors.
Congratulations.
The
Miami bettors.
we both thought it was a horrendous call. We thought that, and not even just like at the end of the game. If they call that to start the game, I'm like, that's a bad call.
Yeah,
That was
they,
not
well,
a
they were
foul.
claiming there was lower body contact, but the ball was already out of his hands and getting swatted at that point.
Also, contact is not a foul. Like,
Yes,
this is a contact sport.
That is
Contact does not mean foul.
that always, to me, in the slow motion replay era, seems to be like the confusion.
Yes.
Sometimes you can bump in the air and
You
it
can
not
touch,
be a foul.
guy. This is a contact sport
Yes.
we're playing out here. You know,
And
don't let the NBA fool you. You're allowed to have some contact. out there.
And we should say, like, Miami not dominated, but Miami, they had the advantage and they were up for the majority of this game.
Yeah.
USC, I almost said UCLA.
USC.
My brain is breaking. Drew Peterson gets him back in this game, hits 2 late
Yes.
threes. Almost hits the Gordon Hayward heave at the end,
Yeah.
which would have been amazing. So, I mean, kudos to USC. Miami fights hard in this game. But again, Bo Borowski makes it about himself, which is literally the
So
story of
good.
Bo Borowski.
So-
I mean, is he going to get a biopic at this point? How can one ref make so many games and so many replay reviews about himself?
We said this-
nobody knows.
Well, we did the midday live video, which, by the way, if you have no idea what we're talking about, we're going to be doing these throughout the year, you know,
Yeah.
or throughout the tournament, doing little video. We'll go live every so often on our YouTube, so
Titus
check
and
that
Tate,
out.
yeah.
But when we did the live video, I said it is staggering how when you watch these games, and this has happened all season. It's not just the NCAA tournament. There's a video review. You see the coaches start twirling the fingers.
Yeah.
The players are twirling. They know it's under 2 minutes. They're like, let's take a look.
Take a twirl.
And when you see the twirling, when the twirling comes out, I don't know how it happens, but every single time, Bo Borowski is in the mix. Every single time. This man calls every single game where we're going to the monitor. Let's take a good look at the ref's ass
Yeah.
as he's looking at the monitor. And, yep, there it is. There's Bo Borowski's ass.
I will say this. I saw today at one point, Greenville, South Carolina is where the game was. They went to go do a review. I saw Bo Borowski. And then not 20 minutes later, we were in San Diego. They went to a review, and Bo Borowski was also there. I don't know how it works.
I was watching a Premier League game. They go to VAR,
Yeah.
and Bo Borowski was.
Oh my God. And Gene Steratore was also on the call.
Gene
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
I don't
These
know how it
officials,
happens.
they're like witches.
What's going on in Greenville, by the way, with the court sliding around?
Yeah.
What is that?
everyone's
Dude,
slipping-
Wendell Moore
Wendell
almost.
Moore. Yeah.
Gabe Brown almost like cracks his skull
And
open.
it was in the same spot.
Yeah.
And in fact, Coach K was so
What you
upset
think?
about it, he sent the managers from Duke to go wipe
He
down the
did,
floor,
he did.
which I really like that move. That was respectful. But yeah, this wipe up the floor.
We can
It's pretty hot in that gym.
what other game we need to talk about? Should we talk about the Davidson Michigan State game? Are you
Yeah.
over it yet?
No, let's talk. I'm not over it, but we can talk about it. I mean,
uh,
the Foster Lawyer Bowl,
Yeah.
obviously, Foster Lawyer did not show up to this game, and you were correct. Can I give you credit? Because
Please
you,
do.
you
Please,
told
go.
me,
go.
Mark Titus told me last night, and I believed in the Wildcats. I thought Davidson was the perfect spoil to David versus Goliath. It was going to be this great moment. Obviously, the powers that be made sure that didn't happen. But you told me there's no world in which Tom Izzo lets Foster Lawyer beat him.
Zero. None.
And that's the world we live in.
None.
Yeah.
There's none. Like
Zilch.
a rational mind might say Davidson wins this game if Foster Lawyer plays better. I'm here to tell you, Foster Lawyer was never playing better. That was
Yes.
not going to happen. It
He
just
had-
simply
he
take
had
it off the table.
Garbage time. I mean,
He was
healthy
not going to.
garbage time.
Yeah, he was not going to play well. It was never going to happen.
Yeah.
But Davidson has a good team, and it ended up being a great game. It was the Sam Menenga versus Joey Hauser game, which we could not get enough of.
This is what we dream of.
Oh my
I love
God.
Joey Hauser, and I love Sam Menenga.
Dude, if you're new to the program, Sam Menenga is a guy on Davidson, which if you watch the game, you know him now.
You know
You
him.
know
You
him
know
now.
that name.
We did the Maui Invitational in Asheville, North Carolina.
Say that again.
Yeah,
That's the world we were living
weird
in.
times.
Jesus.
You guys remember COVID? You guys remember that? Yeah, it was around back then. So we were at Asheville. We were the only people in the building covering the Maui Invitational,
Literally.
and we're watching Davidson play. And I forget who was the first team they played. Was it
Ooh.
Providence?
I
No,
think,
Alabama.
I think it was Alabama.
Something like that.
It was Alabama. It was Nate Oates. It was Nate Oates.
It might. It doesn't.
It was Alabama.
It doesn't matter. The point is, Sam Menenga, who I believe was a freshman at the time,
Yes.
has an insane game, or like at least like has a couple great plays. And Tate and I look at each other. You got this guy that's like broad shoulders, 6'9",
Yeah.
left-handed, smooth stroke.
Gets
Yeah,
it.
he's an Aussie, or is he a Kiwi? He's a Kiwi. He's a
I
Kiwi?
think so.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
Kiwi. He's sorry. Apologies to
Yeah,
our
don't say
friends
Aussie. Yeah.
on the
New
other side of the
Zealand, why
world.
not?
And we both look at each other like, is this guy is he top 10 in your mock, or is he
Yes.
is he late lottery? Like, where do you have him in your mock
He
draft?
remains a lottery pick.
And then we were locked in on Sam Meninga for the rest of the season. By the rest of the season, the next game he wasn't that good, and then he kind of disappeared for the rest of the season.
Well,
So anytime Davidson pops back up on our radar, we're like, where's Sam Meninga? And I'll be damned, he was balling out tonight.
I will say this: Bob McKillop to me is, if he's not the best coach in the country, he's one of the best coaches in the country. But I see a blind spot with Bob McKillop. He is not buying into the fact that Sam Meninga is the guy. You know what I mean? To bench this man late in the game made no sense when he is literally leading the charge. He's obviously the leader of this group, unbeknownst to the rest of the group. But you got to believe in this man, and I think that's what hurt me the most. Feed the hot hand.
What hurts me the most is this is the last we're going to see of Sam Meninga in college basketball, because he's very clearly going to go pro.
Absolutely.
He's going to get a
We reached out to all of our
combine.
Sam Vecini, Kevin O'Connors.
Yeah.
We got 2 words for him: Sam Meninga.
Be prepared for Tate and I to do draft talk. And
Yeah.
After the
Who's your
tournament.
top 2 on the board right now?
And on my big board,
Meninga and who else?
Joey Hauser might have played his way. Joey Hauser, though, you and I both know against Duke, this next game, Joey Hauser's going 0 for 3 with 2 points.
If Joey Hauser scores against Duke, I would color me shocked. I would be absolutely shocked. If he scores against
that's why you're so upset, because
Yeah.
we were talking about this in the lead up to Davidson, Michigan State. Davidson, I think you remove the Foster lawyer element. You remove you just play this game on a neutral court in the middle of the season. Davidson's probably winning. I probably picked Davidson to win.
Yes.
Davidson maybe Davidson's not a better team. I don't know, but Davidson's a team that instills more confidence in you when you watch them. They make you more excited when you watch them. And even Michigan State fans are like, yeah, probably. Like, honestly.
Yeah, Michigan State fans are watching this game tonight, and they're like, they're just playing better than us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was interesting was, like, Davidson might be the quote unquote better team in this matchup. But or Michigan, what was I saying? Davidson is the better team, and so that was going to be interesting because we thought Davidson could give Duke the better game.
Yes.
But
They matched up better,
we also knew the circumstances of this whole dynamic at play, and we
Yes.
knew there was no world. At least I did. There was no world where.
No, you
Davidson
told
was
me.
beating-
I thought there was a world where, like, the basketball would actually dictate the outcome, but
No,
not in this one.
I knew Davidson couldn't possibly get past Michigan State, but if somehow, like, you allowed like if Michigan State and Davidson were now a tag team, and Michigan State's like, we win, but we're going to tag you like that.
Yeah.
I think that's best.
You guys, yeah.
We're going to tag you in to play Duke, and then when you beat Duke, we're going to tag ourselves back in and do the rest of the run.
Yeah.
I think that is the best move for Michigan State. It doesn't work that way. I don't think. I'll have to check the rules. So that was the interesting dynamic at play, and I think that's why you're ultimately upset, because you know that Michigan State has no shot against Duke.
Well, I know that Coach K picked this bracket, and I know that Coach K picked this matchup, and I know that Coach K wants Michigan State. And the only sliver of hope that I have is that Joey Hauser has won in Cameron Indoor before.
Ooh,
So Joey Hauser knows how to beat
he's got
Duke.
a taste. Yeah.
And 2, and I'll say this again, the hubris of Duke and Coach K this year cannot be discounted.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact that he wanted to play Michigan State,
You want
My-
where's this coming from?
oh, he
Right,
picked
dude.
this bracket. He
Coach
picked where
K
he
thought-
is. He picked Gonzaga, who they already beat in the year. He picked this region. Just go ahead and deal with that. Again, Duke has never won a national title, not as a 2 seed. So there you go. He picked this spot. So the fact that he wants to get revenge for 2019, it might come back to bite him. I'm just going to say that. Because the hubris, it always comes back to the hubris. Always with Coach K.
All roads lead back.
Do you like his commercial, by the way? Do you like the Lily commercial?
What?
I mean, what an actor. I mean, what charisma on the screen.
I mean, the acting, the best acting that he's done all season is when he gets in front of the microphone. He says, "It's not about me; it's about my players."
Yeah. When he said that this
And
farewell
then the
tour is
NCAA
about the
tournament
players,
starts, and every commercial.
he's in it. He's everywhere. And how about every coach had to do a video, like they had to say something nice about him. Like I saw Greg Gard doing a Coach K, like I gotta remember. I'm like, why does Greg Gard have to give his thoughts on this?
So let's do a temperature check now that we're like Coach K.
That's my favorite picture. Jim Cunningham, our
do
producer, did
a,
a great job with the picture. There.
Let's do a temperature check. Where are we at? We're one round into the tournament now. The field has been cut in half.
Yeah.
Where are you as a Duke hater, as a man who needs? You don't want Coach K to choke in this thing. You need it to happen. How are we feeling? Are we worried?
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm officially worried, but I will say the good news of today is that Texas Tech looks like the best team of this day, of the Friday, Sunday group. Texas Tech absolutely destroyed Montana State.
I'll give you that.
And they are, on a collision course with potentially Duke, but also I think they're playing the team that looked the second best.
Yeah, I was going to say. Notre Dame looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Notre Dame was a pleasant surprise. And Javon Quinterly, do we know what ultimately did we have a diagnosis?
Didn't see. I saw a lot of speculation, so I don't want to say. I saw people saying MCL and stuff like that, so I never saw it confirmed.
That was great journalism that Tate just pulled there. He's like, saw a lot of speculation, don't want to say, but here's what other people are saying.
Here's what the other people are saying. The unconfirmed sources are saying.
Those who do want to speculate are saying this. I
would never speculate, but
so I'm not saying that. But Javon Quinterly goes out, does not return. I don't think that was the difference, though. I think Notre Dame, the pleasant surprise was that they were.
Cormac.
You would have thought they were gassed. They go to double overtime in the first 4. They fly across the country to San Diego.
Yeah,
literally the furthest point you can pick in the contiguous United States from Dayton, Ohio. I think.
But that's not stopping Mike Bray.
Doesn't stop Mike Bray. Doesn't stop Cormac Ryan.
Yeah, 29 points.
They're happy to run with Alabama. They were more than happy. And can I say this because I'm only saying this because Alabama lost and that's how it works in the NCAA tournament. You like to pile on people. Tate Frazier voice, and I like Nate Oates.
Yeah,
but his teams are front runners.
Yes.
His team, like when Bama,
when shots are going in, Alabama looks unbeatable.
I diagnosed what Alabama is because Alabama all season was hot and cold, and they could beat anybody, they could lose to anybody. That's what you're saying. And like ultimately, what it comes down to, I think, is they were just front runners. And like when they were playing well, they were like, "Oh, it's our night tonight. Let's play well."
Yep.
And when they're not playing well, like no part of them is like, "Let's fight and get this back."
No, they're just like, "This is not our night."
Yeah, this is just not our night. We'll get them tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We'll beat Notre Dame in game 2. It's a long series.
And I give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, they have the excuse with Quinterly going down, so that has a big impact on this team. But when Cormac Ryan is hitting step backs, that look like James Harden drew it up, there's a certain level, and he had the most points for an ACC player against an SEC player since Christian Laettner in 1992. There's your Big Ten stat of the week right there. So shout out to Cormac Ryan. Had a great game.
So help me out with this. So Notre Dame was shooting well. Texas Tech scores 97 points.
Yep.
Tyrese Hunter, as I said, for Iowa State, hits the big shot. He had a great game against LSU. The game itself was not as mucky as I thought, to be honest. It definitely was not a fun game. And if you missed that one, you didn't miss much. I wouldn't necessarily go back and rewatch it, but Hunter was
the
great.
Ice in the veins, and hitting the 3 at the end. That was all you need to see.
Johnny Davis comes alive late for Wisconsin. Houston was unreal, as I said in the first half.
Yep.
But then we have Villanova was hitting shots. That was great. But then we have the Ohio State Loyola game.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Sister Jean goes.
So I'm trying to basically the whole reason I'm trying to touch on all these is I'm trying to figure out what's the deal with the ball. Like, is the ball bad? Is the ball not bad? I can't figure it out.
The ball is, if you watch the eye test, aka I am saying this, I say that the ball is not only bad, the ball is actually hurting the what you expect to see in a basketball game at this level in the NCAA tournament. And Kim Pom has already come out and said the shooting numbers aren't that different. It's not about the ball. But, I mean, look at these scores. I mean, look at the Ohio State game. I mean, it was 1 for 15 from the 3-point line.
Ohio State was 1 for 15 from the 3-point line, and the Buckeyes were the team that shot well.
Yeah.
In the Loyola game. And it wasn't just the shooting. It was the dribbling. It was the passing. It was like making fundamental plays. It was like
EJ Liddell cannot dribble the basket.
It was like going to grab a rebound and no one's around. And this was happening to both teams the entire game, where they just like go to grab it and it looked like they never touched a basketball in their lives.
Yeah.
And I jokingly, because the game was a rock fight to start, and I jokingly tweeted, like, it's the ball. Like, obviously, this ball is too orange or something. But then as the game wore on, I was like, oh, my God, I really think that, like, the ball is greased or something, or it's lopsided. Like, I don't know what's going on. So then I came away from that, and Ohio State won. Well, Ohio State won easily, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we want to talk about that.
I'll
gladly talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Ohio State won easily. They did. They won easily. Sorry, Sister Jean.
And this is an upset. We opened the day with an upset.
Dude, like, that's what, I mean, it boggles the mind that Ohio State, like, the disrespect, and I get it. Ohio State had lost 4 or 5 going into the tournament, whatever, but, like, apparently none of these bozos that are out there talking about the Buckeyes and betting on these games paid a lick of attention to the fact that Kyle Young He played at Maryland. I'll give you that. We lost to Maryland. That was a quote-unquote bad loss. Maryland's not a bad team. It's not an embarrassing loss.
Yeah.
But, whatever. We probably should have won that game. And then the next game Ohio State loses is Nebraska at home. And that's the one where, like, everyone's like, oh, shit, hits the panic button.
Yes. I think that was me.
Kyle Young gets concussed in that game, plays 8 minutes, and then leaves. And then he hasn't played since. And Ohio State is terrible. Our interior defense is terrible.
Yeah.
As it turns out,
Joey Brunk is starting, but he's also, taking the LSAT.
And yeah, the one game we won was Joey Brunk going nuts against Michigan State when he turned into Akeem Olajuwon. And as it turns out, Tate, when Ohio State has its heart and soul, the anchor of its interior defense in the lineup, they're a better team. So, like, I'm not saying this because I want people, like, don't believe in them. I don't care. It's make your own choices. But, like, absolutely hilarious that a 10-seed Loyola Chicago team is going up against a Big Ten team with 2 first-round picks. And a 10-seed Loyola Chicago team with the first-year coach
is favored.
But it was favored in this game. It's like hilarious.
Well, no,
I'm actually laughing.
Yeah,
I'm just, like, not. I'm professional, so I'm not like actually doing it on the outside. But I am laughing right now.
But you know why? 2 words: Sister Jean.
Well, here's the thing.
And that's all it is.
That's
all it comes down to.
So
we don't know anything else other than Sister.
No, we know this because last year we learned the formula. Like, the only way to beat Sister Jean is with a fellow old person.
Yes,
Bud Ossie. Oregon State. May God rest his soul.
Bud.
Bud Ossie shows up against the Oregon State Loyola game in the Sweet 16. We find out that Oregon State has a secret weapon, an old dude up their sleeve. They beat Sister Jean. So going into this game, you're thinking, all right, Ohio State just needs an old person. Did we have an old person? Well, would you look at that? We did. He was on the bench. His name's Greg Oden.
Greg.
He was there the whole time. He was right in front of us.
He is our Sister
We
Jean.
had our 102-year-old
right
in front of us. It was Greg Oden. And
Greg actually is more
was
Benjamin Button because Greg has actually looked younger as time wanes on. Love you, Greg.
I go that far, but
it's Sister Jean crying. Oh my God,
Jim.
Yeah. That's great Photoshop work from our producer. Yeah. No, those are actual tears. Sister Jean was actually on Blue's Clues back in the day.
41 points for Loyola. Like,
paint.
And everyone's like, yeah, they went to the Final Four a few years ago, and also they beat Illinois. Like, was Cameron Krutwig on this team this year?
I wish.
Like, what the hell is
That
going
would've been
on?
fun.
I don't even care. We won by 13. It is what it is. Like, I just like I want to understand what logic was going through other people's heads that you really thought a team with 2 first-round picks was going to lose to that. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, Sister Jean, her
serious?
handles just aren't like they used to be. I mean,
Ridiculous.
she used to school people.
So
Not
yeah,
this year.
Buckeyes move on. We have Villanova next, who is definitely going to beat us. Because I've had a lot of people like trying to talk me up, like we might have a shot because Chris Holtman, last 3 games against Jay Wright.
Villanova also struggled with the
3-0.
basketball, by the way.
They did.
And so that could be something to monitor. Delaware gave them a bit of a game. I mean, the 2:15 game started out tight. We look at Auburn. Ish. Yeah, I mean, so that was a little fast.
Duke was like, we were trying to talk ourselves into it.
Cal State Fullerton battled.
I think when I started
Brooks.
started yelling at the TV with Duke Fullerton, that Paolo Banchero doesn't have and Mark Williams don't have their jerseys tucked in, and that should be a technical foul.
Yeah.
I think that was the moment where I had like a self-reflection. I was like, yeah, Duke's gonna win.
No, you were right though. You were right. I mean, and
like,
swinging on the rim. I've never seen someone just be able to swing on the rim and not get teed up in college basketball. It's amazing. But I guess
I heard myself say the words, and I was like, I think I might be grasping at straws here. I think it might not be in the cards for Fullerton today.
I just can't believe Coach K got what he wanted, but I also can at the same time.
What else is there?
Arizona was a very non-consequential game. They didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, Wright State played hard. They looked, I mean, like a fun group.
As I said, once you get a taste of a 2:15 upset, what happens is you start like anytime a 1 seed or a 2 seed is not up by 25,
you go,
like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
That's how it starts.
Better keep an eye on this.
I mean, even like Purdue Yale early in the game. I mean, I was like, could something be brewing here? We wanted chaos today, and look, let's just be honest with we'll break the fourth wall for the friends of the program at home. This is a chalk day. This was not
a little
an exciting
chalky
day.
A little chalky
but
day.
Thursday, Saturday, that's the
There
day.
was one huge upset. I had Rex Chapman going all the way to the national championship in my bracket, and he was out. He's out.
I don't think
Rex said, I'm done.
That must be the first time in TV history that an analyst wants his alma mater. Like, you imagine if Duke lost, Seth Davis like, I'm out.
Can you imagine last year when Ohio State lost? Like, I just like
out.
stand up and walk, and I'm like, I'm done.
I kind of respect it. I'm out. when Kentucky the final score happened, he goes, and for that reason, I'm out.
He's like, see you guys.
Yeah. I mean, respect. I hope he was tweeting through it. Shout out to Rec Chat. I mean, the Kentucky fans.
He's like, I'll tell you what, you guys fire off your takes. We'll clip them out. We'll tweet them out, and then I'll be at home. I'll just smash the retweet.
Yeah,
Whatever you guys
I'll
say.
retweet.
I don't need to be here for that.
I'll retweet you guys to the moon.
I'll just retweet you guys.
Good call.
All right,
though.
let's look ahead to tomorrow quickly. What stands out to you? I'm trying to think of that. So Gonzaga Memphis
is the late game.
That's the late game. The first game is Carolina. So there's three. I believe there's 3 1 versus 8/9s. It's Gonzaga Memphis, Baylor Carolina, and Kansas Creighton.
Yep.
I'll say this for you, so you don't have to say it. So you don't have to be a homer.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor Carolina is the one that jumps out to me as like the probably going to be the most competitive.
It's 2 on the nose though.
Yeah.
That's what scares me. And I will say the Big 12 has not lost in the tournament yet. So if the first game starts and Carolina beats the first Big 12 team, that would make some sense. North Carolina famously selected as Andy Katz's team of the week. A lot of people forget that.
It's just like
what a fun fact for North Carolina. My God,
we're putting fun facts on the screen.
Yeah, that'll really get you.
Selected as Andy Katz's team of the week. It doesn't say what week.
It does. Yeah,
it doesn't say what year. Yeah, what year? Jim?
Yeah, I think it was 2019.
2009. I won the national title.
I think Carolina is going to give Baylor a game. I told you this. I mean, anytime Carolina's won by 30 plus in the NCAA tournament, they have made it to the Final Four every single time, except for once they went to the Elite Eight. So historically, you would say this North Carolina team, based on what we've seen so far, is going to make a run, but they're playing the defending champs. I am still worried about Gonzaga. We're talking about the 8-9 matchups. Gonzaga Memphis, it scares me as far as one of these could happen. I think Creighton, Kansas.
It's not going to be.
I think Kansas has that handled. So I think it's really between those two. It's between Baylor, Carolina, and Memphis, Gonzaga. And obviously one starts the day and one ends the day.
Yeah.
So, if you're tuning in, it's going to be a great start and a great finish.
I think Gonzaga Memphis ends the day because that's the
Yeah, you were laughing at me because I was a little upset that Baylor Carolina wasn't the primetime game.
Yeah. It's like of course it's going to be Gonzaga, man. Like that's the sexy game.
Number 1 overall seed. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And I mean Penny Hardaway as Memphis' coach. You have 2 number 1 recruits in the country. You have the single 2 best recruits that have ever existed in the history of recruiting service.
Yes.
And
Monty Bates, Ted Holmgren.
They both just so happen to be freshmen.
Yes. They were both
crazy how that
simultaneously the number 1 player in the country and
the number 1 player since LeBron. Both of them.
We still haven't figured out how many minutes over under does Amani Bates play in this game. I'm gonna set the line at 5.5. He played 3 minutes in the first game, had 3 points. I'm gonna say in this game the line is 5.5 over under.
That's a great. I'll take the over because I think what's gonna happen. I don't think this game should be particularly close. I think Gonzaga is considerably better than Memphis.
Yeah.
And listen, it's March Madness, so that's not a prediction. I'm just saying like.
Well, they're the number 1 overall.
They're the number 1 overall seed.
There's a reason why. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna get excited about this being a good game until I'm given a reason to be excited. Like if 12 minutes into the game, we got a game. I'm like, all right, now let's go.
Yeah.
So which could happen, but I'm anticipating Gonzaga, doesn't necessarily blow them out, but like kind of keeps them at arm's length.
Yeah.
And maybe at some point, Penny's like, we gotta shake it up. We gotta like.
We got to throw our X factor.
The only thing that can stop a number 1 recruit is another number 1 recruit. I got to throw Rumani out there.
Yes,
and he's going to get a little more burn. And
I like.
We're going to see what happens.
I like the matchup because obviously you look at Gonzaga; they're 2 bigs, Timmy and Chet. Yeah. I like that Memphis has Duren and Williams to match up with those 2 guys. I think if I look at Memphis and their roster, I like the matchups that they could have against Gonzaga, but also Gonzaga is a much better basketball team. They have been. This is Penny Hardaway's first tournament. We have to stress that. Like this is his first time to like make some big adjustments.
He won the NIT last year.
I mean,
no respect for that.
Respect the NIT, but this is the first time we're going to see Penny Hardaway in a big primetime game. I hope he steps up. I hope he does a good job because I did not feel like Penny Hardaway was earning, favor with how he was handling things early in the season, but they persevered, and now I'm pulling from.
Well, I mean, Penny Hardaway. You want to talk about coaches that are coaching tomorrow? We got Michigan, Tennessee, which could be a really good game. I mean, if Tennessee plays the way they've been playing lately, it doesn't matter who they're like. They could play Gonzaga
Seriously.
or Arizona, like, you name it. Tennessee's gonna
Duke,
beat.
yeah.
Their Tennessee is absolutely red hot right now. But we were joking last night about how like the Juwan Howard. They were talking about Juwan Howard during the Michigan-Colorado State game about like diversity had overcome.
Yeah.
And there's some sort of redemption narrative being built right in front of our very eyes, and I'm like, what? The guy struck a man. Like, it's not.
Yes.
He brought
I haven't
brought
called,
all of this upon himself.
I haven't called that inversion.
I actually think that Penny Hardaway has the compelling redemption arc
Of course.
of going like
winning the
some of his.
offseason.
To be fair, some of his was self-inflicted.
Yes.
But you know, like to deal with what he's dealt with, and Amani Bates like leaving the team to like go get his back worked on, which was like totally bullshit, right? Like the whole time, but now he's back. I don't know.
Well, also remember the SMU game in the post game when he had guys out for COVID and injuries, and they lost that game, and the reporters were asking him, and he was like, "We don't have our roster. Like, why are you asking me stupid questions?" And I thought that was when he broke. And what I think,
and we laughed. At least I did. I laughed at him because you know, like, why wouldn't you laugh?
But I think
now, you know,
I think that was the moment where Penny was like, "Stop trying to tell me what to do. I got this.
Yes.
Like, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna get ourselves together, and we have the talent to do it." I don't know. I think the Tigers will be that'll be a fun game.
What is Michigan Tennessee it could be a good game. As I said, if Tennessee brings their A game, it will not be a good game. But that's not even a slight on Michigan. It's just that's just kind of how well Tennessee's been playing lately. Richmond Providence is interesting. Richmond Providence is going to be an interesting one.
Richmond should win that game. I mean, they should. No offense to Providence, but Richmond should win that game.
We're just gonna pick against Providence every.
I picked Providence to win their first game. But Richmond, it looks like the better.
Best game in terms of scoring margin. The game that I have talked myself into. Both of these teams could be in the Final Four, and I would not bat an eye. I would not flinch whatsoever. Is St. Mary's UCLA?
Yes, agreed.
Both of those teams are Final Four good.
Especially when you look at the East now without Kentucky. I mean, it's setting up for UCLA.
I think St. Mary's is playing better than UCLA, but I think UCLA is better, if that makes sense.
It does.
And that's what makes it compelling to me. Is that UCLA is the better team, but St. Mary's is has it more figured out, has more answers right now.
The key to me in this game is UCLA figuring out that core 5, that core 4, whatever it is. I mean, Jules Bernard has to be better. Johnny Juzang has to be better. You know what I mean? Like that is the only way that UCLA can make a run like they did last year. And Tiger Campbell saved them. And like he single-handedly won that game against Akron. They should have lost that game. So they should all take a deep breath, and they should all say, "Hey, now we have to really lock in, because if we don't, we're going home to at the hands of St. Mary's."
Before we go, I want to shout out TCU who just completely destroyed Seton Hall.
Shout out Jamie Dixon.
We didn't even talk about like that is honestly a sign of respect that we didn't even talk about that game that much, because it was such a blowout and such an inconsequential game. And TCU, their defense is looking good.
I like TCU.
Their defense is looking good. First, did I read that right? First NCAA tournament win for TCU since 1987.
Yep,
that's crazy.
It really is. It really is. And also, I mean,
the Big 12 has been awesome. I'm someone who doesn't
undefeated.
I don't play the conference stuff. I will jokingly cheer for Big 10 teams because like you will make fun of, like, we were watching, what game was it? Was it Michigan State? No, it was Illinois, Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Somebody on our crew was like mocking Big 10 basketball, so I was like jokingly cheering for Michigan State and Illinois. I don't really care. I don't care that much about the conference stuff, and I think the narratives that get built in the NCAA tournament are all stupid.
It's the same as bowl narratives. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Teams win games.
Yeah, exactly. It's all matchups. And not once in my life have I, like, you watch your alma mater school win, have it been like, that's great for our conference.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
and like,
that should not be your first reaction unless you're in the SEC.
Like, if Ohio State upsets Villanova and all the other Big Ten teams lose, I'm not going to be like, it is great that we did this, but like this is bad for the conference.
Yeah.
Like, no, of course not. You care about your team, and that's it.
I am worried about the Big East.
But I do want to shout out the Big 12, because all these Big 12 teams, and I'm not shouting out the conference as a whole. I want to shout out the individual teams. Texas is a team that we don't love. We don't love Texas.
This is the best game that Texas has played all year.
Texas looked great.
They may have gotten some of the Friarish, the luck of the Friarish.
When Marcus Carr banked in the shot to end the first half,
Yeah.
that told me all I need to know. But now we get Texas, this is going to be a joy for me. Watching Marcus Carr and Jaden Ivey, two men that
Spider-Man meme.
have ruined my life.
Yeah.
Have
Tortured you.
Untold damage on my family.
Mm-hmm.
These two men are going to play each other, and one of them's going to go home. So
somebody's got to lose that game.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Bye.
Unless we have an Illinois situation where they both lose, but somehow move on.
Jaden Ivey and Marcus Carr, between them, I swear to God, I've hit 12 game winners against Ohio State, and now they get to play each other. So
if Texas goes to the first off, congratulations to Chris Beard. More tournament wins than Shaka Smart. Gets it done in his first year, so
yeah,
that's pretty impressive. But if Texas goes to the Sweet 16, I'm gonna put them on the Mickey Mouse Sweet 16 run.
Really?
This team,
Texas is the new Houston.
Texas upset me today, and I know a lot of people were saying, "Well, it's Virginia Tech. That's why you're so upset. You picked Virginia Tech." It's not even about that. I just this Texas team has never played like they did today, and kudos to them for showing up in the tournament and doing that. But I was so annoyed by the fact that they did, and I really like Timmy Allen. I'm happy for Timmy Allen. He fought out of this game, but. This is a different Texas team. If they play like that, hey, maybe they make a run.
Murray State, St. Peter's also playing.
Wow.
You know, that's
Murray State.
Yeah,
you got to do that. But also St. Peter's, Coach Holloway he said his group believes they're going to go to the Sweet 16.
Are you worried about Coach Holloway
leaving?
Yes. Like before this game
yes.
tips off.
I mean,
and now that Seton Hall's out, because that's the story. Is Kevin Willard's going to Maryland. And then Shane Holloway's going to take a spot at Seton Hall. Now that Seton Hall's out, are we worried that before this game tips off, St. Peter's isn't even going to?
I mean, reports are telling me that Todd Golden was negotiating his Florida contract going into overtime.
Yeah, hey, any agents watching this or listening to the show, please, for the love of God, tell us if your clients are negotiating, so we know when we're making our picks.
Yes.
If I would have known Todd Golden
was out.
Even though I would have picked San Francisco. I don't think I picked San Francisco.
I picked San Francisco. If I had known Todd Golden was out.
But still
didn't lose in regulation, though. So does it count? I don't know.
That's a great point.
The overtime games.
One other shout out I want to shout out Moses if you're watching my dog Moses who filled out his bracket.
You say to Moses if you're watching.
He's watching, dude. He watches more college basketball.
He does.
Than any dog.
He does.
I put it on and I leave it on. So he's got the stream on. He's an informed dog. That's why his bracket's better than
Is he with Gwyneth Paltrow's dog watching us right now?
Yeah. He had up until Colgate, Wisconsin, he had a perfect Midwest region.
His home turf.
Yes. And
something
Colgate
knows well.
Colgate was for a moment there. For a moment, they were giving it to Wisconsin, and I was like, I'll be damned.
No, Moses.
This dog. Did he do it again?
Right logic, wrong pick.
And he had San Francisco winning the whole damn thing. But as we said, if Moses would have known Todd Golden was negotiating to go to Florida, and also they lost in overtime, so that technically doesn't count. Soccer rules, you get like 1 point, or hockey rules, you get like the 1 point.
Also, we all have inherent bias, and as soon as Moses saw Golden, he was like riding.
Yeah, exactly.
Like my guy. That's my.
So Colgate, shame on you. You ruined the perfect bracket. Yeah. You came out, you started hitting threes against Wisconsin. And then Wisconsin was like, we're going to make you do something else. And Colgate was like, yeah, see, the thing about that is.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Can you guys, stop crowding us on the three-point line? Can you back up?
Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Not exactly a chaotic day, a madness-filled day, Tate, but a day nonetheless. We got through it. We survived. We advanced.
Tomorrow is going to be something.
Tomorrow will be a ton of fun. And half of the Sweet 16 will be set tomorrow. Maybe your North Carolina Tar Heels will be in the field. I don't know.
Oh,
we'll
man.
See.
Jeremy Sohan versus Armando Bacot. I think Bacot could have a field day. Knock on wood.
Ooh.
Let's hope it happens. We'll see what happens. And then, look, they're going to play this clip when Carolina gets blown out by 30. But, for right now, I feel good about it.
Either way, no matter what happens to North Carolina, we will be back here tomorrow night after all of the games doing another
Unless
show.
I pull a Rex Chapman.
Yeah, let's take this a Rex Chapman.
There's a chance.
I'll be rolling solo. But either way, see you guys in.